Welcome to Rise Up and Fix It, a podcast dedicated to empowering women.
A podcast that empowers women and the marginalized community by helping them tap into their creativity.
I'm the writer of the book, The Secrets of Becoming a Boss Bitch with a Heart of Gold. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and producer. People know me as Ms. Monday. My co-host is Inna Koropkina. She's an actress whose work you might know from films such as Dawn of the Dead and Transformers. She's also the founder and the creative director of Jewel Branding Studios.
We have combined our talents and ideas to share tips and techniques on how our listeners can change life for good.
Welcome to our podcast.
Last week, we sat down and talked about tapping into your superpowers. And this week, we're talking about the art of manifestation.
Episode 3. I'm excited.
So am I. We both love this topic, right? We talk about it a lot.
How do we want to start this topic? I have some ideas, but you can go too. I don't know.
Well, as I was driving here, the two quotes that came to mind were, every action has equal and opposite reaction. That is the laws of physics. And the other one was the tipping point, 10,000 hours from Michael Gladwell. One of the things that he mentions in the book, where when you do something for long enough, you become an expert and it's exponential growth and suddenly you just take off. The idea takes off, or there's just a massive change right away. So for a long time, you don't see any change. It's very incremental growth, and then just suddenly it takes off. The 10,000 hour rule comes from this idea that true expertise comes out from the amount of time that you put in to doing something. And the tipping point is this idea that at one point an idea reaches critical mass, like a boiling point, a threshold where it just spreads like wildfire. So I feel like with manifestation, if you put in enough energy into what you're doing and you do it with conscious effort, you're going to reach that tipping point. Your ideas are going to just spread like wildfire, and you'd feel like you're at the top of the world. When you feel like nothing is happening and you're putting so much effort into a business, into an idea, into a passion, and you just don't feel like anything's happening, like you're not making progress, just trust that this law of physics is going to play out for you one day, that there's going to be a reaction. And this is something I'm saying because I'm reminding myself, because sometimes as an artist, it feels so frustrating when you're creating and you're not getting feedback, or you're not getting the things that you think you need, you think you want. Mm-hmm. And just knowing and trusting that something will come out of it.
I love that.
I hope that made sense.
I think it does. I've seen people start from nothing and go to tremendous heights, usually based on that theory, like putting in hours and hours and hours into one thing, and then they succeed. Like I've seen that happen with my sister-in-law. She started from zero and then grew her Instagram to an enormous amount of people in 5 years, but she'd spend hours every day working on that. You do reach a tipping point where you do succeed. I've seen that happen in businesses. People start companies. They always say that when you open a business, the first 2 years or 3 years is a loss. And after that, you reap your rewards. It's always like that. You put in the hours, you slave labor, you work your butt off, you go into debt, and then everything turns around. And that's almost a sacrifice you have to go through when you're trying to make something happen. Like it's about putting in the effort and going the journey, making it happen. But I've seen it.
Perfectly said. Yeah.
I've seen it tremendous amount of times. I've been through it. I know a lot of people have gone through that. It's just having the courage to do it.
Yeah, and finding something that you love, because if you're doing for work what you love, it doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. So those 10,000 hours don't feel like 10,000 hours. It feels like play.
Totally, yeah. Oh my God, you love it every moment. I can work hours on the computer doing stuff, but as soon as I'm presented something that I'm not interested in,
it's like God. Dragging your feet, right? Yeah. It's just finding a way to monetize it.
Totally. And in the process of manifestation, you're going to work, and then the world is going to listen to you and come to your
aid.
come to your aid. When you're focused on one thing and you're working towards building something and you're thinking about it, the world starts responding to that. The more you put in, those hours they're going to come back.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Joseph Campbell, and he talks about following your bliss. Follow your bliss and doors will open where there have been walls. And so this is what we're talking about. Find something that you love to do and align yourself with that passion, then the doors will open and things will manifest and happen.
I'm excited about this topic. It's one of my favorite topics. So for the last, I would say maybe the last 15 years of my life, I create a vision board usually once every 6 months.
Thought it would be a lot of fun to actually sit down and do a vision board together. So there's just different reasons to create a vision board with your partners, with your friends, for yourself. So we both find it a very helpful thing to do in manifesting.
I'd love to sit down with you. Oh my God, let's do wine, cheese.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what your process is, but I use this app called Procreate. So I'll do, because a lot of images are online. Yeah. So there's a feature on the Mac products where you press two buttons at the same time and you do a screenshot of whatever's on the screen, and then I'll edit it down, kind of crop it, and then I'll put it into the Procreate program. So that's how I make my vision boards. So there's so many different ways. I think there's Pinterest. Some people use Pinterest. Totally. What's your process? Do you do the physical actual magazines?
No. I do everything on Photoshop, a program that I use all the time. Make it in Photoshop, like a big collage, and then I make it my screensaver.
Oh yeah, I love that idea.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll sit on our computers and we'll make our own little vision board.
Put on a playlist. Yeah, put in some wine and
totally. Yeah. And then I'll send you mine, and you can send me yours, and then I'll mix mine with yours. Because I feel like the more you can align with your friends, focus on an idea, the stronger the creation. So that's why companies do so well. So if you think about a regular business or an organization or a big company, they do so well because they have so many people within the organization and company that are working towards the goal of the company.
Nice.
Right? So you might be like, oh, whatever, I'm getting a good salary and I'm happy. But the owner of the company is like, wow, okay, there's all these people that are coming together and putting energy into this concept idea that I want to create. And they're helping fuel that creation. So the more people that you have working with you and dreaming with you and believing in your concept, the stronger the pull, the stronger the vibration, the stronger the manifest.
That makes total sense, of course. Yeah, there's more people going towards the same goal.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. So we, as long as our heads in the same space, that's why business meetings are so good, or pep talks, or even these conversations. It's so exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Where your focus goes, that's where your energy flows, and that's when things happen.
Yeah, sometimes things don't happen or don't manifest because it's not time. Human beings crave all at the same time something familiar and something novel. Because with familiarity, there's a sense of security that comes with familiarity. And then we also seek a sense of adventure. We want something new, but too much of one or the other can be scary. And so sometimes we'll come up with an idea and it's not time yet. Look at it and say, how novel is this idea and how is it going to be perceived? And just massage it and develop it in a way that an audience is ready to receive it and it can be successful. Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of negotiating that needs to happen.
Oh God, yes.
Sometimes you have to be really good at negotiating.
Having someone else see the vision, because as you were saying earlier, it's a group. The most powerful manifestation comes when there's a group of people going towards the same goal. But in order to share that goal, everybody's got to be on the same page, and whoever starts that idea has to sell the vision, right? They need to talk about it and really define it.
I have manifested so much. That is why I truly believe in this topic. Because of the amount of things that I've had manifest within my life, I know that this is something that you can do. That manifestation is something that is available to us and is available to anyone who puts in the energy to make it happen. So the tipping point, that idea that you brought up, though I haven't read the book, I think I understand that the more energy you put into something and the more you work at something, things happen. maybe manifestation, some people don't resonate with the actual term manifestation or the idea of that.
It's too esoteric.
Yes.
Right?
Some people think like that, right? When you believe in something and you create it, you manifest it, you make it happen. You're bringing something into fruition that you desire. When you understand the art of creativity or how to bring creativity into your life, and then you understand the idea of tapping into your superpower, then you are ready for the manifestation. Because if you're not at your best self, which is what we're talking about in our last episode, superpowers, then you're not aligned. Your thoughts have to be, you have to
be clear.
Very clear, but you also have to get yourself on a good vibration or on a vibration where your thoughts are prominently focused on what you desire.
Absolutely. And if any negativity comes at you, because the world is filled with a lot of negativity, it bounces off of you. You do not let it affect you, because you're not going to be able to be productive. You're not going to be able to manifest beautiful things if you are easily thrown off by all this negativity that's around.
Yeah. Yes. Your reaction. Unless you're using that, as we talked about in our last episode, in anger, and we use it towards the manifestation, which you can do. And we recommend you to use that to fuel the
creation.
Project. Fuel the creation.
You don't let it use you use it.
But if you're feeling off, you're feeling down, and you're not aligned, and you're predominantly thinking about something that's not on track with where you want to go, it's just really important that you really keep your mind positive and on the prize.
Yeah. And life can be painful. And if you smile through the pain and let that pain fuel you, fuel your day, fuel your creativity, fuel your life, then that's empowering.
I mean, you can't have excuses. Anyone that has an excuse to why they can't make something happen, usually the excuse is the issue.
It's the stories that you tell yourself that are stopping you, nothing else.
Exactly. The trick behind the manifestation is the focus and also the energy that you put into it.
That's right.
Let's pretend that manifestation is a car, okay? So if you were to make it a car, you'd have to have an engine, you'd need wheels, you'd need a shell, you would need a steering wheel. You need all these parts to come together to make the manifestation, right? So imagine that. So you have the car. Now, what is it that makes the manifestation go? It is the energy or the fuel that you put into it. So you can have an idea, but unless you actually really put the energy into making that happen, it's never going to come. It's just going to be an idea. It'll be there. You might think about it, but if you don't reach out and go for it or put the fuel into the vehicle, you have to bring all the parts together. That's why I like the reference of the car. Then once it's there, you need that fuel. So it's like whenever you have an idea, it's just understanding that there's so many moving parts that come together, and then it's the fuel that makes it happen. Because I think the problem is that a lot of people sit around, they wish, they meditate, like, ooh, I wish one day. It's like, no, I know exactly what I need to do to get that. Like the sad thing is that most people, when presented a large goal, they feel lost or they don't even know where to start. Instead, they pass on their dreams because it might just seem too complicated or too big. This is when you fail, really. You fail. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it for you. You have to set a clear idea, like a picture of what you want, knowing as much as you can about that and putting in the effort in making that happen.
If you can imagine it, if you can see it in your mind, then it's almost like the body thinks it's already happened.
Yes.
And so then it goes on to do everything that needs to be done step by step in order to manifest that and make it a reality. Maybe a better example would be you have this business idea, this venture that helps a lot of people. So what is the service? Can you see yourself doing this service and the people benefiting from it and you arriving at your job location every day? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Where's the light coming from? Like going really detailed.
Totally. Like I usually say to people is like, don't be shy. Don't shy away because you think your idea is too big or out of your league. That's the magic, girl. That is the magic. Like you got to dream big. Dream bigger, dream large. The bigger the dream, the more room you have to move. You have to believe in yourself. Even if you're at 0 and you don't know the way, there will be a way if you believe it. I would just be calm about it, just work forward and try to understand it in as much detail as you can. Believe it and you can achieve it. The world answers and moves in the direction of your thoughts. There's this saying, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So anytime you have a negative thought, be like, hey, no, this isn't good for me. I need to change direction. I need to think more positively. That's what you got to do. Just keep getting back up, keep moving forward. Things will work out.
Yes. And sometimes it's not meant to be. Sometimes what you desire, the universe thinks, it's not right for you. Go for something else. Sometimes it feels like such a struggle to get something greenlit or to have someone, yes, I'll give you money to make your project. Sometimes it's the timing is not right. There's so much growth that happens in the years that follow a project failing.
It's kind of like whatever energy you put out to the earth.
You're like a magnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like what you're looking for it's attracted to you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's basically physically creating on a physical plane what you're imagining in your mind, the art of manifestation. That's the way I look at it. And actually, interestingly enough, because I love fashion, I love styling, and what I've realized for myself, clothing has energy. This is what I've come to learn. And so when I want to feel strong and powerful, I tap into wearing combat boots, army print, dark colors, baseball hats, something like really strong masculine energy. If I want to feel feminine, I'll put on a pretty dress, maybe silk, something flowy. So you can use little things that have symbolism attached to them on the physical plane, physical things, to help you create the physical things that you want to create. So if you want to be super successful, businesswoman, wear a suit. Wear heels, wear things that a typical businesswoman would wear. And then that makes you feel like a businesswoman. And it's almost like it perpetuates the idea. I'm dressed like a businesswoman. I act like a businesswoman. I act like a businesswoman. I become a businesswoman.
Sadly, most people will judge you based on how you look. There's a saying that your eyes and ears can deceive you. Some people will automatically dismiss you based on how you're dressed or how you speak. And also the opposite. You might see someone dressed fantastic and they might say the right things and they might just be a salesperson, tricking you. You don't know. So you have to follow your gut.
People will treat you as the part. Not us being superficial, it's just, it's reality.
People judge based on looks. So as you're trying to make your manifestation and make your stuff happen, become who that is.
Play the part. In one of Shakespeare's plays, there's a quote that says, all the world's a stage and we're all merely players. And it's so true. Like, what are you wearing to play the part that you want to play? Play the part that you want to play. Don't let other people dictate what part you should be playing. Don't let other people's expectations of what character you should play define you. Define your own character, dress the part, and go succeed. We were taught in theater school, there's 2 different types of ways to approach studying a character, developing a character. There's a way called inside out and then outside in. Inside out is you figure out what is the character feeling, what are the character's values, what are their beliefs, and then you dress like that character. So again, going back to the Shakespeare quote, all the world's a stage. Figure out what your values are, figure out what your dreams are, your aspirations, and then play the part. If you're actually thinking about it, the universe sends it your way.
Yes.
When nobody's perfect, we continue growing. There's always something to learn.
Totally.
And so this is what this podcast is about. We're sharing our journey with you as creatives. We started out with just an idea of wanting to make films, wanting to model, wanting to be in the fashion industry. And we did all of that between the both of us. We both started out as models. We got into filmmaking, made feature films, big Hollywood blockbusters. Now we're mothers and we see the state of the world. with everything that's going on, we're reaching a tipping point. Women are so fed up with the way things have been going, the way the things have been run, this world has been run. And that is the passion behind this podcast that you're listening to, that Ingrid and I are creating. It is from there that all this information is coming from.
Yes. So there's no excuses, girls. There's no excuses. Take the power, use the power, and make that magic happen within your life.
Yeah.
Take whatever has stopped you and change the direction now moving forward. Because yes, we might only have one life here. We might have more, but imagine you don't have another life as a human. Take this chance to make it the best life you can make happen. You know, follow your dreams. If you need something to happen and you desperately need something and you don't feel like there's a way out, there is a way out. You just have to be creative about it. Get creative, get thinking.
Absolutely. Go find your tribe. Go find someone who loves you, because that is self-love, self-care. And from there, you can accomplish great things together. We can't wait to hear about all the things that you are manifesting. Please drop us a note on Instagram. Visit our website. We are here to support other women. That is where this podcast is coming from. And we cannot wait to see what you've got in you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay. Goodbye. First, I'd like to mention, yes, listeners, we are both thriving creative women and entrepreneurs. Everything we say on the show are our personal opinions and ideas. We are experts in our own experiences. Yes, if we say something that sparks questions here, or if you want us to expand on anything we discuss here, feel free to reach out or comment in the section below, or direct message us depending on what platform you are on, and we will try to answer when we can.
Welcome to Rise Up
And Fix It, a podcast dedicated to empowering women.
A podcast that empowers women and the marginalized community by helping them tap into their creativity. In next week's episode, we're going to be talking about navigating setbacks. As busy creatives, we find that it is super important for us to carve out time to be with our families, our kids, and our girlfriends, because that is what fuels us, what gives us energy to continue going, continue creating.
Till next time, we'll see you then.